rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing up bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock.
I am not giving up my white Santa. I don't care what anyone says. You can just hate the whites as much as you want. I'm not giving up my white Santa. Now, we've given you Kwanzaa, a godless holiday that goes against white folks and everybody else that's good. Isn't that enough? These people are mad about Megyn Kelly saying that Santa Claus and Jesus are white. And her point is, why can't white people have a white Santa or white Jesus? Doesn't mean you can't have a black one if you want it. It's amazing. Don Lemon on CNN and his guests really tried to make a mockery of this. Can you imagine this black woman who responded to Megyn saying that we need to get rid of the old white guys? If a black person, a white person has said that about a black person, would they have her on laughing and kicking up heels about it? No. And they don't want white Americans to have any freedom at all. They want to choke white Americans to death. And unfortunately, white folks are afraid and look like this is happening. It's going to happen, folks. My audio engineer is telling me, Andre here, I am not white. My parents never taught me that Santa being white is something bad. So I never thought much about it. Thank you. I never even thought about it. Something wrong, folks. Don and his guest laugh and says, the guest says he grew up with a black Santa.
Sorry about that. Well, people, everybody's kind of laughing here. I want to bring in now Jamel Bowie. He is a staff writer at the Daily Beast, and then the co-editor of CNN's Belief blog, Eric Maripodi. I'm laughing. Listen, I put this online, guys, and I said, what color is Jesus, what color is Santa Claus? And everyone's like going crazy. What color are you? What's wrong with you? I can't believe I'm discussing this either, but that is the most responses I think I've gotten in a year on social media is when I put that question up. And when I posted something last week about someone who looked like Jesus selling Christmas trees, the internet went crazy. So Jamel, in an article that you wrote, you said that Kelly thinks that the idea of a racially inclusive Santa Claus is utterly ridiculous and that she's wrong. Why is she wrong? Explain that.
I think she's wrong because there's already racially inclusive Santa Clauses. I grew up with a black Santa Claus. All of our Santas were black, all of our Mrs. Clauses were black. Like this,
Can you imagine?
Not every family has a white Santa, and I think that's perfectly fine. And I think Aisha Harris's idea that since there are so many different kinds of Americans, that maybe we should simply take race out of the question altogether isn't a bad one at all. I think if we're trying to err on the side of inclusivity, then definitely Penguin Santa makes sense. But to get outraged at the idea that there are non-white Santas is ridiculous, because I guarantee you right now that if you were to walk into the home of an African-American person, almost anywhere in the country, you would find a black Santa Claus and black angels and a black Jesus.
Wow, can you imagine all those dark things in the house? A black Santa, a black angel, and a black Jesus. Now that would cause a trauma. Oh my God. Is this real? I got a text, someone said the woman who said she was traumatized by Santa, the white Santa, said she was traumatized because Santa required kids to be good, and that made her feel uncomfortable. So the white Santa, according to this black woman, if this is true, the black woman was a kid, and when she was a child, the white Santa Claus made her feel uncomfortable because he required that kids should be good. And these people have degrees. They went to, quote unquote, some of the finest universities in the country. And this is how they came out. This is how they turned out after paying all that money for a college education. Remind me not to go. Amazing, folks. And can you imagine your parents deliberately teaching you that Santa is black? Now, they say, apparently say, yes, there is a Santa, but he's black, not white. As a kid, they're taking all your joy away as a child. Don says, Santa to me is a black man. He goes on to say, referring to Megyn Kelly, she lost me at Jesus.
Well, I think you would find a black Santa Claus in every black home because Santa Claus is black in black homes. And Santa Claus is white in white homes. Santa Claus is Mexican in Mexican homes. So let me just tell you, Santa Claus to me is a black man. Now listen, Eric, I want to ask you this. I was with her. I understood what she meant in the beginning. I think what she meant. I don't want to put words in her mouth because I've been misquoted about things or people have misinterpreted things. If you look at the depiction of Santa Claus, the popular representation of Santa Claus, if you look at Kris Kringle, then it is a white depiction. I understand that. But there are many who question the authenticity, shall we say, of Santa Claus and Jesus. Where she lost me was a Jesus thing. What do theologians say about the color of Jesus' skin?
Well, when we look at Jesus as a historical figure, you're talking about somebody from the 1st century who lived in the Middle East. So in all likelihood, he would have had an olive complexion. We don't really know. What we do know is how artists have depicted him over the years. And like you said, just like with Santa Claus, oftentimes cultures will, it's almost a mirror of who's doing the depiction as to what Jesus turns out. When you go to Jamaica, you see a Jamaican Jesus. When you go to countries in Asia, you'll often see an Asian-looking Jesus. And here in the United States and in North America and Europe, you see a very white-looking Jesus.
I want to thank my grandparents for never, ever, 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 but never, ever, 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 never, during the whole time that I was growing up under the Jim Crow laws, I want to thank them for never sitting down with me and telling me the color of Santa. Thank you. And thank you again, parents, grandparents, for never putting up a black Jesus in my household or having a discussion with me about the color of Jesus. I really do appreciate that. You would have. I had enough issues as it was, but you would have screwed me up with all that extra added burden that I did not need as a child. Can you imagine? Black parents are now putting black Jesus and black Santa Clauses in their house just to prove something. Back in a moment.